So tell me, what is it about the way you do speaking coaching that brings in your background? What is your background? How did you get to be here and to, have these gifts that you've got in the way that you present them?
So my background is in theatre. So I trained and worked in theatre. And I have always been fascinated by the relationship between a speaker or a performer and the audience, and that there's a magical transference occurs. And essentially what an audience picks up is your essence. Is mostly what people don't realize is it's not the words, it's your state of being. So where I started with you was around your essence. What's your essence? What's your deep intention? What is the reason why behind your desire to speak? And is it just purely for your ego, or is there a soulful reason? And that was so easy with you because, yeah, you're up there as an act of service to an audience. And that to me is the most precious thing. And it's a very subtle connection that's formed with an audience. Like, we take in so much information, both conscious and unconscious. And speaking to me is one of the most powerful things one can do. And that we open up a world. We open up a world and we invite an audience in. And if you don't do the work, then it's really all about you. And it's about funny voices, and it's about tricksy stories, and it's about learning tricks that ultimately leave an audience feeling empty, and you've promised them steak and you've given them a wafer biscuit. So the first thing that we did was, I wanted to hear what your essence was. I wanted to know the intention behind, what did you want people to feel? What did you want them to know? What did you want them to do as a result of hearing you? And that to me is the fundamental of speaking.
And that is one of the first things you taught me. And, to really tune in with what it was. And I remember it because we were sitting on a patch of grass in Sydney, and I wrote it down. And I wrote down, what is it that I want my audience to feel and to know and to do? And then you expanded it by saying, what is it that the universe wants your audience to feel, to do, and to know? And I came away with 6 questions. And I thought that when we started working together, you would give me the formula and I could write it down and I could tick the boxes. But that's not what happened.
No.
And it is important that you say that, that essence is really important, because that's the journey of the speaker to find that space.
Yeah. Yes, that's very true. That's very true. And, I think what you said about the universe, what does the universe want you to say? To me, that's so important, that when we're approaching speaking as an act of service, who are we in service to? Because 9 out of 10 speakers are in service of their own ego. 9 out of 10 speakers are actually in service of their fear. It's one of the most fearful things known to human beings is speaking in public. And
why is that?
I'll come to that in a moment.
Okay.
But just that when one speaks as an act of service, that opens us in a different way. And that the whole thing about that I understand around the fear of speaking, it's about A, being vulnerable, B, the fear of humiliation. What if people don't like me? So you'll see a lot of speakers, it's all about like me, or there's a level of aggression of I don't care if you don't like me. And what that does is you cut off from your state of being. And for me, that is where the most powerful part of a speaker is in their state of being.